we'll just start there with evaluating and writing formula, right? So what I've done is I've actually done this one out, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. So a taxi driver charges a fare of €4 added to 150 per kilometre added to €2 per passenger. So the fare is going to be €4 plus 150 per kilometre. So if he does 1 kilometre, he'll get 1 times 150. If he does 3 kilometres, it'll be 3 times 150. If it's 5 kilometres, it'd be 5 times 150. So you can see there why that has to be 1.5 times k, plus €2 per passenger, and the passengers are represented by p. So €2 per passenger. If there's 1 passenger, it'd be 1 times 2. If it was 5 passengers, you'd have 5 times €2, so it'd be an extra €10. So you can see there how that equation is formed. Now, if you're writing this out, if you wrote this as f is equal to 1.5k plus 2p plus 4, that would still be correct. So it doesn't matter what order these are in, as long as they are all on one side of the equation and they're all added. Okay, so that's the formula done. Find the fare for 4 passengers if the journey is 18 kilometers. So the fare is what we're looking for. 4 passengers, so I'm going to put 4 in instead of p. And 18 kilometers, I'm going to put 18 instead of k. So you can see there, I did that, and what I got was there. So 4 is equal to 4 plus 1.5 times 18 kilometers. Instead of k, I'm going to put in kilometers, and instead of the passengers, I'm going to put in 4. I then need to simplify that, and if I simplify that, I end up with 4 plus 27 plus 8. I'm just multiplying that out. And if I add all them together, I get the fare, and the fare is going to be €39. Okay. The last part of that question, if 3 passengers paid a total of 28, how long was the journey? So I'm using the same formula again that I formed at the very, very beginning. I'm going to put 3 in for the number of passengers. I'm going to put in 28 for the fare, and I'm going to find out how long the journey was. So the unknown in this case is going to be k. So all I did was subbed in the information I was given into the formula, and you can see the unknown is going to be k, so I'm going to have to find the value for k. So I'll just simplify that. 28 is equal to 4 plus 1.5k plus 6. And if I simplify that by collecting my like terms, I'll end up 28 is equal to 10, because if I add 6 and 4, I get 10, plus 1.5k. I then need to solve, and I'm sure people will find this easy at this stage. So in order to solve that, I keep all the unknowns on one side and all of the numbers on the other. So in other words, I take that 10 and bring it across. So I take that 10 there and bring it across, and it turns into a minus 10. So 28 minus 10 is equal to 1.5k. So that will give me 18 equals 1.5k. So to find out what k is, I just divide both sides by 1.5. So divide both sides by 1.5, and I get an answer of 12 kilometers. Okay. So that brings us on to question 16. With question 16, it's very, very similar in that you're given the volume of a cuboid, and you're given all the different lengths, and you need to form an equation. Okay. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to first of all write out what the formula for a cuboid is. So the formula for a cuboid is the length by the width by the height. Okay. So the length by the width by the height. In this case, the length is x plus 3. The width is x, and the height is 4. So I'm going to put them in. Okay. So you can see that I now have them in place. So the volume was given in the question. The length we've done. The width we've done. The height we've done. And we need to be able to multiply 3 times. So what I'm going to do, the reason why I highlighted that is I multiplied the 2 of them first. It doesn't matter, you could multiply the 2 of these first, you could multiply the 2 of these first, or you could multiply this one and this one first. It doesn't matter. I just picked the first 2. So when I multiply the 2 of them, x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, and that has to be multiplied by 4. So you can see there that I've formed an equation. 4x squared plus 12x is equal to 216. So that's the answer. It asks us to write a formula for the volume of the cuboid. So the formula for the volume of the cuboid is, this is a formula obviously, but I just simplified it, and that would be the volume of the cuboid. Using the formula, show that the volume of the cuboid is given by this. So basically what they're saying is to show that this, okay, is equal to this. So that's very easy. All I need to do is put my x squares first, my x's second, and my numbers last, and then I can just simplify them. So I brought the 216 over, and then I had 0 is equal to 4x squared plus 12x minus 216, because it's coming over. And you can see there that everything there is divisible by 4. I wanted to get 1x squared, so I had to divide it by 4. So if I divide everything by 4, I'll end up with x squared plus 3x minus 54. X squared plus 3x minus 54 is equal to 0. So that is that. So that's question 16, part 2 done. Now what I need to do is I need to do part 3. So write down the actual dimensions of the cuboid. So I'm just going to come back to here. So we worked that out so far. And now we're going to just look and see how we can work out the actual lengths. Okay, so this is everything that we just did a second ago. And we found out that the quadratic represented the volume. So x squared plus 3x minus 54 represents the volume. They want us to find the actual length of each side. So in order to find the actual length of each side, I need to find the value for x. If I know a value for x, then I'll be able to say what the length of this side is. So if I can find the value for x, then I know what the length of this side is, because this is x. If I had a value for x, I'd be able to work out what this side is. And how I'd work out what that side is I take my value of x and I'd add 3 to it. So I need to find the value from x using this quadratic. And luckily enough, we should be able to do that based on factorizing quadratics. So we did a full chapter on factorizing quadratics, so we should be fairly good with them. But all we do is we take the last term and we list the factors out. So 2 times 24, or 2 times 27, 3 times 8, and 6 times 9. We look at those factors and see which one of them will add to make plus 3. Okay. Now, keep in mind this is a negative 54, so that means that one of these factors will be positive and one of them will be negative. So, in order to make a positive 3, I can't use 2 and 27 because that will make 29 or else 25. If I use 3 and 18, I can make the number 21 or else I can make the number 15. If I use 6 and 9, I can make 3 and I can make 15. So in this case, I want to make 3, so I can use 6 and 9. And I'll just put them in there so you can see. So I've put them in. You can see there that if I put in 9x and minus 6, 9 and minus 6, they'll add together to make 3x. So I haven't changed the value of this equation. I've just wrote it differently. If you have 4 terms, then you need to group. So I'm going to group the first 2 together and the last 2 together and take out what's common. So I'll just go down to there. So I've taken out what's common. So x is common in the first 2, so I take out x. X multiplied by something gives you x squared, so it's x multiplied by x. X multiplied by something gives you 9x, so it's going to be plus 9. Here the common factor between the two of them is going to be negative 6, because I can take out a negative 6, and that will leave me with x plus 9, because negative 6 by positive 9 gives you negative 54. Because this here and this here are the same, I can pull them together and I can say x minus 6 times x plus 9 is equal to 0. So that means that this here is equal to 0, or this here is equal to 0. One of them has to be equal to 0. So x here is going to be equal to 6, or else x here will be equal to 9, or negative 9. Now, before we go on, we just need to stop there and just think. This does happen in the junior cert papers a fair bit. So if you found the value for a length, and if the length is a negative length, that doesn't exist. I can't say the length of this box here, or the width of this box, is -9 centimeters, because there's no such thing as -9 centimeters. There's no such thing as a negative length. Okay, so automatically that rules out the fact that I can't use this. So I have to say that x is equal to 6. So straight away I know that x has to be equal to 6. So what I can do there is I can find the length, the width, and the height, and that's very, very easy. The length is going to be x plus 3. X plus 3 will be 6 plus 3. 6 plus 3 will give you 9. The width in this case is obviously x, and x is equal to 6, and the height in this case is 4. And that's all that question was asking you. Okay. So with these questions, all you need to do here for the first one there, you need to see how many times 2x goes into 8x cubed. So you need to divide your numbers, and then you need to divide your x's. Okay. Same with the second one, you need to divide your numbers, then you need to divide your x's, then you need to divide your y's. And for the last one, you'll need to expand first. So you need to multiply the numerator by the numerator and multiply the denominator by the denominator, and then you'll get a brand new fraction. When you have that brand new fraction, then you need to do like you did with the first two questions. Divide your numbers by your numbers, divide your x's by your x's, and divide your y's by your y's. For question 2, it says y is equal to, and it gives you a fraction, and you have x's in the numerator and x's in the denominator. It says express x in terms of y. So when you're asked to express x in terms of y, what they're actually asking you to do is to rearrange the formula so that you've got x is equal to. Okay. So with this one, you'll need to get rid of the denominator by multiplying both sides by the denominator, and then you'll be left with a linear equation. Then you'll need to get all your x's to the left-hand side and everything else to the right-hand side, and you should end up with the answer there, which is x is equal to 4y minus 6 over 3y minus 2, right? So you should be able to do that. For the next one, it says to solve. We did loads on solving algebraic fractions, and there's videos on YouTube. You can look them up if you need help with this. But what you need to do there is you need to get a common denominator and turn this into one fraction. Once you've turned that into one fraction, then you need to get rid of that fraction by multiplying across by the denominator. But again, you can check the videos on YouTube for solving algebraic fractions, and you'll see one very similar in the videos. For question 6, it says find the perimeter P and express it in terms of x, y, and z. So you'll need to find the perimeter. So you'll need to form sides. So you need to know what side this is. The length of this will be x plus z, won't it? And the length of this will be x plus y. Okay, so this will be x plus y. And then you just need to add them all up and leave them equal to whatever the perimeter is. Okay. The next one was an algebraic fraction. So again, you need to turn that into one fraction, and then you'll have a fraction equals a fraction, so you can cross multiply and find the value for x. Okay. This one here is a isosceles triangle, and with that one you can see there they want you to the perimeter is 26, so you'll need to add this, and this side here is the same length as this, so you'll have to add that again. So this plus this again, add them all up, and you'll end up with an algebraic fraction. That's question 11. So you'll end up with an algebraic fraction. You leave that algebraic fraction equal to the perimeter, which in this case is 26, and if you do that, you'll be able to solve it and find the value for x. I know I'm only talking through these, but that's just, this is just to help you when you're doing your revision. Okay, question 12, right, is a single fraction in its simplest form, so you need to get a common denominator, which in this case will be 12, and again you can watch the video on algebraic fractions on YouTube. The next one there is very similar to the one that we did for homework last day. It's just forming equations, and it's giving you the equation there. It says find the charge when 250 people are present, so you need to put 250 in for the number of people, and it'll give you an answer there. Find the number of people at the event when it's 790. So again, that's just filling in the information, so you put that in instead of C, and you have to find the value for n. The last couple there, we have an algebraic fraction. You'll be able to do that, turn that into one fraction, cross multiply. And for 19, these two rectangles have an equal perimeter, so you'll have to form an expression for the perimeter of this one. So it'll be x minus 3 plus 2x plus 1 plus x minus 3 plus 2x plus 1, and if you add all them together, you should leave it equal to the same as adding all of these ones together. Okay. And then the last one, solve each of these. Again, just algebraic fractions again, and solving using algebraic fractions. So they're the questions I would advise you to be revising before we sit an assignment when you get back.